Well, end day now, YouTube. Let's go. Stream health. Jeez. Alright. Hi everyone, this is GeoWill from Productions², and we're back to do hopefully the last bit of streaming for our advanced weapon plugin for RPG Maker MV. So, I kind of forget exactly where we were this morning at the end of it. I think we had gotten everything working, but there might have been one issue somewhere. If I can try and remember. So, let's have a quick look here. Oh, that's right, the bow thing. That's right. Now I remember that bow thing. So we are getting the last thing is getting added in for some reason to the game party items. So that's going to be the game party items loading. So some of the game party items loading, we are doing something weird, and it's pulling in something that it shouldn't be. So we need to go to our objects file and take a look at what we're doing with the loading of the save file. So game party weapon, against this weapon, pulling in all those. This is for every weapon in party weapons. And we're going through, and then we're passing it to party, we're pushing it into game party weapons. Somewhere in here we have something weird going on though. So let's see. Let's go ahead and put some breakpoints. So first I want to see what we're actually pulling in these, and then we'll do a new save. So we start out fresh and we can figure out maybe what's going on. So we got that, and then we'll put a breakpoint down here just so we can see what's happening down there when we're pushing stuff into the weapons list. Let's go ahead and refresh. Alright, new game, grab some stuff. I guess we don't really need to do anything with that. We'll just save it and see what happens. Save it to number 11. Alright, let's go to the title. Continue. Alright, so let's see what we have in party and actor webs. Whoops. Not what I wanted to do. Hit 5 real quick. Hit the wrong thing. I meant to drop the watch list down. Alright, let's try this again. Do not hit that button. Alright, so let's go ahead and add so actor weps, and we'll also add party weps. Okay, with the Y, so we actually can get a valid thing here. So game party weapons, all we have is this. That's fine. And actors, the last one is that bow. So that's the default weapon for Lucius. So okay. So at least when we're plugging it in on this one, it's fine. So let's go ahead and hit continue. I also wanted to then see what PRTY weapon is. So plus PRTY weapon. Okay, it's game instance weapon. And I also then want to add game party dot underscore weapons. What does that have in it? That should just be empty. Perfect. Okay. So continue. So we should just have the iron sword and the katana. And I'm watching this, so we got the iron sword. Okay. So that's all we have in there. If we look at our item list, that's fine. Alright, so now, how did this happen? So let's just go ahead and try saving again. And then try loading it again. See if anything changes. Alright, so in actor weps we have our 4, and over here we have our 3. Okay, so nothing really changed. Nothing in... Okay, so game party weapons, we do have this in here, but we are clearing that out. With that, on this, we're clearing that out, so actually we should probably put it there. Okay, so game party weapons is nothing now. Alright, so we're going through. Okay, it's going to hit that because it's looping through actor. Let's just take it off of that. Alright, so we come down to here. Party Wep is, again, the basic iron sword. We have the one in there. It's good. This is the katana. And that's all. Okay. So, what did we do to make that happen? So, let's, oh, right, we never did fix, I forgot all about that. We didn't fix the clear and the optimize, I don't think. Well, I'm sure about the optimize, but we didn't fix the clear. We'll fix that next. This is the problem with trying to recreate stuff. It's just that it's kind of... Well, actually, it was when we... Let's go ahead and load up 10. I think that's the one we loaded before that had all this crap in it. Yeah, here we go, bow. So, that's the party weapon right there is bow. So in here we have bow, sword, sword, and we have katana, axe, cane, and bow. In our game party weapons we have bow as well. So we're just going through the first loop, but we already have a bow in here somehow. I'm just wondering if it was like a... because there's no way the bow gets unequipped. I don't have any weapons that you can replace the bow with. So I'm wondering if it was just during the testing and things somehow a bow got inserted in there. Somehow by mistake or what. But so we have, which is interesting. This is interesting. So we came through this. Let's put this back up here and let's just reload this. Because I want to know how that bow gets in there, because it's not there. It shouldn't be there at the beginning, because we're emptying it out. Alright, so, yeah, there's nothing in... Okay, in the array we have 3 weapons at the start of it, which is fine, because there's going to be the bow, the sword, and the katana, I think. Or no, another sword, yeah. 2 swords and the bow. Which is what's in the party weapons up here. Now, let's put a loop here. So when we go to the next one... Okay, so that is empty. Interesting. On the first time through this loop, it's being added to the game party weapons. That is interesting. So... when we're loading, we're changing the equipment of what they have. Okay, so we have 5 game actors. One of them's a null. What happened to the null handling code that was in here? That's interesting. I wonder if it's that null. Because what's weps and actor weps? So that's interesting. Actor weps, act wep, base params. Or no, act ID. Okay, 02, that's fine. So here's something else interesting. ID 1, ID 000. Don't believe that's got anything to do with what's going on, but still, it's an interesting thing there. So what we're doing, so we have our game actors. We're passing through the ID, the act ID from the weapons. So that 0 is not going to come up in this case. So the question becomes, is it being put in there by the change equip because there's something already equipped and we're exchanging it for what's in here? Is that why? So now that we have a hypothesis, let's actually test on that new file and see if we save it again, then load it. Yeah, that's it. Or no, no, it's not. I'm looking at the wrong thing. So it hasn't happened yet. Let's go and disable those. So let me grab these. Let me equip him with something. Now we've got, because we did it twice now. Then let's go to save. Save over it. To title. Continue. And it may have been, so if we look at our items now, yeah, there's the bow there, so it does have to do with that. So let's go ahead and enable them again. Continue 11. Alright. So at some point, for some reason, and it's probably because of change equip, we're getting a weapon thrown into. It's only one though, that's what's interesting. We're only throwing the last character's weapon into there for some reason. What's more interesting though is it happens on the first loop. So loop 1. So weapon ID, so that's 1. So if we look at actor, which is ID 1, we look at equips, and this one is the Mystic Sword. So let's go next. So at this point, still nothing in here. Let me go to this. I'm going to go to trade item with party. Well, we're not over here yet, so I'll put a breakpoint here and here so we can catch it. Continue. So still nothing in there. Oh, they're just down there. So I'm thinking it's in here somewhere. And gain item, probably in gain item or lose item. More likely in gain, because when we call lose, we're just calling gain. So there is so we have a remove party weapon, and then we have a one that adds to it here. Let's see, we don't have anything that adds to it, I don't think. Well, not necessarily. But if it's anything, it would be in here because it's a game instance weapon, so it's not going to go in there. It'll come over to here. So I'm betting it's this. I'm betting if we check this, it'll say bow or something, and that'll be it. Or it could also be this. Okay, now so let's take a look at this here for a second. So this is not in the right place because this if statement, this whole block here is if the game constructor is not game instance weapon. So this would never happen. So if data manager is weapon item, and this isn't even right. So, alright, if not, else it's this. Okay, never mind. This is to create a new one. So if it doesn't already, if what we're passing through is a regular item, we want to change it into a game instance weapon. If it's just a data weapons object, for example, that's just going to be a game item. And for that weapon, we want to change it to a game instance weapon instead of a game item, which is what this does. So that's fine. However, this could be where we're getting the issue from. What if it's passing through the bow, for whatever reason, as a new item, game item weapon, instead of a game instance item, or game instance weapon, and it's fallen into this and creating a new one and pushing it. Which seems to be what's happening. Every time we save it, then load it, we're getting a bow shoved into the weapons list. So let's go ahead and hit continue. Okay, so we're going to let's take a look at what we got here. So it's game instance weapon. The new item is, the old item is also a game instance weapon. So we're just basically replacing what's in the what's being pulled in through the save contents we create for this into, and using it to overwrite what's already existing on the actor, because even though the actor is loading correctly, we still want to load it from that save file, that save contents section, since that's where we know the data is correct at. So we're going to call first gain item, which brings us here and brings us down here. So we have item, which is game instance weapon, and we're just going to push that into weapons. Okay, so let's try, instead of calling this, let's just say actor.equips 0. Because we already know what's in there, we just want to overwrite. And actually make this SID so that we can handle the, so let's just do that. Let's just see what happens with that, to start with. Let's go and just disable all this. Because I have an inkling that it's because of this, because we're not overwriting the weapon that's there, we are unequipping it and equipping a different one. And when we unequip it, we're shoving it into the weapons list. Why it doesn't push everything out there, I have no clue. But I have a hunch that that's what it is, so let's go ahead and load this. We should still have a bow. But we shouldn't have... Okay, no, so now we have 3 swords and a katana of darkness. Actually, that's correct. Because he has a sword on him, or a katana of darkness on him. But he also came with one equipped. So we talked to this guy, this NPC, twice, which gave us 2 swords and 2 katanas of darkness. And then there's the 1 sword that he already had equipped. So that accounts for everything there. Now to make sure though, let's go ahead and do a new game and do a new save. So talk to that guy once. We'll go ahead and equip Herald with the Katana of Darkness. Then save it into, we'll overwrite our 11th file there. Let's go back to the title. And then let's go ahead and load. Ah, there we go. So yeah, that was for some reason that was causing it for the bow. I'm not sure why it didn't cause anything else to happen like that. Okay, so we got that figured out. Now there was one other thing besides the clear contents and maybe also the optimize. Yeah, optimize too. I thought anyway. I should have made a note of it. Let's go ahead and do a full test of everything. So actually, let's turn this off for a second, and then we're going to come over here, and we're going to, not that, we're going to go to the plugin options. Let's go ahead and turn on just the refine system. We'll turn these on one at a time in various combinations to see if we can cause any kind of breakage. So right now just the refine system working. So we should just see the level up, the refine label on the windows, and the refine system should be active. Let's go over here, grab that. Talk to the old guy. So I got the time darkness. Alright, so refine isn't showing up here, even though it's on. Interesting. Actually, then we didn't get any experience either. There must be a... Let me see. Is there a... So no, there's no file issue. Oh, because it has to be equipped to the actor now. Right. We've changed it so that doesn't apply to the game party weapons anymore. Let's just go ahead and remove all the breakpoints. Oh no, wait. Yeah, we want to equip it. We want to equip it. Okay, there we go. So the refine is not showing up. Which could be because the way we're importing the parameter is wrong, or it could be because it's just being maybe not drawn. Let's just see. Okay, no, so it's not being drawn because the value is not correct. So let's go ahead and put a breakpoint on our refined system here. Actually, the one below it, so we can see what the value is. Go ahead and reload this. So it is false. So refined system refined system on true. Okay. So what value we're actually getting from this? Because it may be like on instead of true or false, or it might be a 1 or something. Some other adaptation of a boolean. So we're getting a true as a string. That's what it is. So these have to become strings, and we're not in the right place. I'm just wondering if I missed it on the bank. No, that's interesting. On the bank, it's also not set to... Huh. And they're set to booleans. Default false, default true. That's interesting. Yet well, I don't really know if these work or not, to be honest. They may not work the way they are, so I may need to do an update there. But it definitely seems it's not working over here, for sure. God, this thing's so... freaking thing is so huge. So, boolean, spelled correctly in the right way, I would assume. So that's how you spell boolean. And yeah, okay, that's true, that's right. So let's make these strings then. So we know the false condition works, but it's just that we're not getting a actual true condition to be sent. This just turns out to be false either way because it's not the exact same type and not the exact same. So like we said, just equals equals. It might work then, or it might always work because then it's always like so equals 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 means that it's the same type of value and the exact same actual value. Equals equals means that the value is just the same, the types can be different. It's kind of an interesting thing. To be honest, equals equals should be checking the type and the actual value, in my opinion. But it's JavaScript, what are you going to do? Same thing like this exists in PHP, I think, as well. And it's just, it causes so many problems sometimes. So let's go ahead and reload and see what we pull out this time. So this time it's true, and the value this time is true. So what's the value on this one? Should be false. Value is false. Good. So it worked by coincidence before. Alright, let's go ahead and equip Ton of Darkness. Grab some experience. And then, well, actually we gotta go then equip Herald, equip this with the sword. Then select it. Alright, so, now we have the refine there, good. And we have refinement here, that's cool, that's good. That's how it should be. So let's make sure that all the conditions and things are working. Still. So once we get this up to 10, that should enable, the level should go away, we hit refinements, we get all this stuff, hit OK, go grab some more stuff here. Oh, right, it's got to be equipped, keep forgetting that. A little tidbit of information. I'll have to remember to, hey, level 99. Alright, equip katana. Place it with that and whoa! What do we what the hell? +1, +1, +1, +1, +1. We have a six-tuple +1 katana of darkness. That's like Uber katana of darkness, +1. Okay, so obviously the drawing of this has gotten messed up somehow. So that's on the first window. Okay, so let's go take a look at the weapon list. Let's see what's going on. So draw action item. Well, maybe, no, not, well, not here, no, yeah, here. It is here, it's on that list. Oh, no, wait, no, look here, +1, +1, +1. That's kind of crazy. So, on the name, on drawing the name, so we're calling, so maybe that has something to do with the override that we did over here on the window base. If that's what it's called. Because it's on everything, it's not just there. That's, so it's on everything. But over here we're not calling that window base thing. Still, it's probably a good thing to check anyway. So on draw item name. So let's see if item constructing this weapon. So item name plus equals plus. Plus equals plus +1. I think this might be why. So let's change this to item dot name plus that instead of plus equals, because plus equals is like an addendum. So I think every time this runs, it adds another thing to it. Cancel. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and reload. I'm not sure. Well, actually, yeah, because it would save that into the game item because it's passing that instance into here. So that's how it would affect the status window. So I think that should fix it. All the other stuff is still working. Oh, right. I remember now. There was one more parameter we needed, the extended parameters list. Completely forgot about that till just now. Let's go to refine. refine it. Okay. Go to equip. Interesting, it still says +1/+1. So every time it goes through a list, it's adding another one to it. That's interesting. There's still somewhere where we're calling this incorrectly. It might be on... So we fixed that one. So item name equals item name plus that plus that. But we should still have somewhere... so this is in the item list, window item list. Do we have a window item list something in here? I'm not sure. I know we used to, but I don't think we do anymore. It's definitely got to be still related to the window, though, somehow. Maybe there's still something somewhere where we're doing that with item icon, name, item name. So item name equals name. So let's change the item name to, let's change that to name and then just do this way. Yeah, I think that was it, actually. So it was two things. There's that we were adding it onto it, and then still, we were still changing, since we're using the item name there, we were still changing the value of it to plus this. Every time it went through a window, added on another plus. So it was a two-fold issue. We didn't really change how it was going, really. We just basically changed it from plus equals to an equals, which meant we had to put the thing over there. But we're still saving it to the instance of the item. So half the solution, not the whole solution. Alright, darkness, level it up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So the refined system's working. Now that we fixed that one issue. Let's go ahead and save it. Load it again to make sure that it's maintaining the values. +1 still. Refinement, that's fine. And yep, that's perfect. Alright. So now we're going to do testing on the... So we're going to leave the refined system on, we're going to turn on the durability system. Let's go ahead and turn that on. Okay. Set that okay. Apply, okay. We're also going to change the weapon tag for the katana, so we have back to the regular durability, which I think was like 25. Alright, so let's test the durability system. Which means also testing that the weapon damage, the durability system works as well. So we can test that. So grab this, equip it. Alright, so let's go ahead and unequip it. Go see if the durability dropped. Okay, right, we need to make that a, we need to do a round on that. I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, it's dropping and it's enabled now, so that's good. So go to Time of Darkness, go to Repair. We should probably also disable the repair selection here if the durability is at the maximum amount. So to repair that 0.5, we need to have almost 1,000 gold. Only have 600, just fine. Let's go to Time of Darkness, level up. Oh, that's interesting. Now we get a WEP level not defined. That is very interesting. So, where'd that happen at? So if repair system is active, new durability, WEP level. What is, let's see, WEP level, W level. Ah, that was just a typo. So line 1661. Or no. Okay. WEP level? What WEP level? WEP level is not defined. Oh, down below further. Not there, but on 692. Or 1692. There. That's where the problem was. Okay. So that's with the durability system turned on, right? Let me try to level it up. Actually, let's go ahead and fix this as well real quick. Game battler or game action? I guess game action. So dur damage equals 1 if it's less than, well, let's see, this should fix that, because if the damage is less than 1 and greater than 0, it should be 1. But maybe, no, that is true. Okay, right. Then this happens, and this is where, okay, we need to do a round on this. But if it's not, so okay. So, oh, I didn't, that's, okay, no, I didn't change it, that's what happened. So, we put this up here where it says dur damage, but we never actually replaced the thing down here with the dur damage. So I did fix it, I just didn't actually implement the fix. Okay, that should fix it. Alright, let's go ahead and refresh again. And we'll try that, we'll try it out of battle again to make sure that actually did work, but I'm pretty sure it will. Grab that, you go equip the weapon, Ton of Darkness, attack it, attack the slime, and then guard everybody else. Yeah, there we go. So level up. Okay, yeah, good. That's working now. Obviously, we still don't have enough gold or experience to level it up or repair it, so we need to fight some more. Okay, so that's all working. Let's go ahead and try the synthesis system now. For that, we'll need to use this guy because we won't take too long to fight to get the amount of experience we need. so let's go ahead and refresh. Actually, no, close it first. We need to enable the system. Keep on hitting the wrong thing. I want the puzzle pieces, not the gears. Alright, gonna turn this on. Okay, so go over here real quick. Let's go ahead and equip the sword, or rather the katana. Let's go to this guy. And I'm also going to go ahead and equip the sword as well. Or one of them anyway. And we're going to hit this guy again. And now we're going to go level both of those up. Just to the first are fine. Interesting. Oh yeah, because this is at the maximum level now. Did I put that in? Okay, no, now it's available. Maybe it's always available. What are the let's check the conditions on that. So I think it's always available. Just nothing will show up in the list, the donor list. Or actually action pane. So we want. So synth is active. Yeah, so the synth is always showing. Will always show up. When the synth system is active, it won't be grayed out. It's just that nothing will show on the donor list. Alright, so let's go ahead and equip the other. Equip the sword now. Or unequip the sword so we can modify that. Alright, this has got 20 levels. Alright, so let's go ahead and unequip the katana. Okay, so everything's showing up correctly. Our gold amount is fine because we're using this based on the non-max level. I'll need to make it a requirement probably to do. Well, we could make it a. Maybe that could be an option if it's going to be max level or not. Oops, I did okay. So we get our trade increases. Refinement goes to 3 and level to 10. And we no longer can use refine and level up. Perfect. Everything is working. Yeah, to repair 0 durability. It is 84. It's 8,436. Imagine what the cost is with even some damage to it. Can we actually? Let's make sure we can equip this. I haven't actually tested that yet. Oh yeah, definitely can equip it. Let's actually go do a fight. $1,000 damage. Actually, no. Ah, damn, I hit that. Oh, that's the other thing, too. We have to fix that. And the other cancels, too. Okay. Let's go ahead and work on that, plus then we'll do the clear and the optimize issues. So first things first, we're going to go up to the scene and figure out why the bloody hell the cancel on the list, weapon list is causing this. I mean, why does it even matter that that's there? Actually, let's just go ahead and see where that's being found at. Way down there in the action pane. Seriously? So source console line 2648. Draw action item. Are we? Maybe we're updating the action pane. At the same time, though. So if we're on the first window, the action pane hasn't been assigned a weapon yet. So I bet you anything we're calling refresh from up here when we shouldn't be on the action window. Action pane, whatever it's called. So let's go up to the first area here. So we're calling this, this, and this, then on cancel of the weapon list. On weapon select cancel. No, on weapon select cancel, we're just doing scene manager.pop. That's kind of interesting. Oh, what if it's processing select? I bet it's processing select. I bet we're not doing that one correctly. I'm betting we're not handling the cancel correctly. So on process, okay, we're not handling that. So if this dot underscore com list this dot index does not equal cancel. I'm going to process that, else call window selectable. I believe it's called that. We can go check real quick. So it's on Windows. So window selectable dot prototype dot. Yeah, process cancel. So I'm betting on several of these will need to do that. Definitely on the donor list because it's basically a copy of this, so it's not going to be, it won't have this section in it. So let's we'll just grab this. I'll grab this like a crab. And scuttle on down to the process OK here. Pincer it in. So else window selectable prototype process cancel call this. Let's see next on. So that doesn't matter. We don't interact with the stat window, so we can bypass that and go down to the action pane. So process OK. So first things first. If so you can probably we can erase the cancel handler in the OK section up in the scene that we had going on there. So that's kind of a cognitive dissonance there. Processing the OK when the selection is cancel makes perfect sense. So on process OK, if actually just copy paste that in there. Okay, we don't have to worry about that on there either. On window we're fine, we do though. Same process, put that down there, then tab everything over. And then also on synthesize and repair. These are all really based off of the level window anyway, so if we had added this there, we wouldn't have to add it now, but since we didn't, we do now. It's kind of annoying, but doesn't take too much. Doesn't take too much effort to put it in. It's just rather annoying to have to type it multiple times. This one's the easiest one because there's almost nothing in here, so don't have to do a lot of scrolling for it. Alright, so that should handle all of that. So then we come back up here to the scene. Let's go ahead and pull out the code for the cancel on the action paint scene handler. Yeah, this. Don't need it. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that, and then make sure that whole blacksmith scene actually now instead of weirdly and breaking in some places. So we'll need to scrap a weapon or two here. Okay, that works. Good. Actually, I'm doing the wrong thing again. No! Why are you still going there? Bad plugin. Bad. Don't make me rub your nose in it. And the mess you've left behind. Alright, so where the... here it is. So what is actually the hell is going on here? Maybe is it this index or this underscore index? I think you can use this dot index. But I guess I'll find out here in a second. So, oh wow, that is interesting. So we're hitting cancel, but it's not coming here. Well, no, see, because that's still a cancel. It's not like it's a right-click cancel. We're selecting an option. We're selecting an OK cancel. Unless that goes somewhere that, by definition, it goes somewhere on its own. Can't do it. Let's see, call stack. Draw action item. Fresh on weapon select. Oh, well no, that's not it. So wait, on weapon select. Okay, on weapon select. That's fine. But we're calling the cancel, not the select. That's interesting. So let's go back to where we got the breakpoint at, and put a breakpoint here. Because if it's calling the select, but it's still processing it as an OK, well, oh, no, yeah, on process OK, process cancel. So even if we're doing this on process OK, it's still going to call process cancel instead of OK, or at least it should, and it shouldn't call the OK. Yeah, it's not even coming here at all. What in the hell? So this is Windows selectable. Let's go to Windows selectable. Oh, really? It's not So actually, on process OK. Is there a non-process OK? Okay, no, there isn't. So that's why it's because those windows aren't actually being called correctly, I guess. So it's just process OK, not on process OK. I'm not sure where that came from. So if we go to process, it changes to process OK. Over here, not over there. So we gotta go down. Not that far. Aha. Or no, that's, well, I may have to change them all, but I almost thought that was the right one. And now we went too far. Here we go. Process OK. Well, let's see what happens. Might have gotten that name wrong. I'll have to check on the... Alright, so... Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay. So what the hell's going on over here then? Because I'm pretty sure I copied that initially from over here. So I wasn't doing anything that was like really... Well, let's see. That's still the scene stuff. There we go. Nope, process OK. But I'm not handling the cancel on these either. That's the other thing. So I'm just used to, I'm used to hitting the right button to get out of menus, and I never use the cancel button. If you don't have a mouse, if you're just using a keyboard, like if you're on a laptop or something, then that could be a problem. So we'll have to update this too for that. So that's two things I have to fix over here now. Crap, what was the first one? Oh, this stuff. The booleans. So let me make a note of it before I forget everything again. So to do make bool param and imports, I guess, or inputs, or checks against strings and change any on process OK to process OK, and add in cancel com list handling. Alright, so we need to do that for that. I'll do that as well tonight. Okay, so we got some work to do. We've got a little bit of work to do. I have no clue where that process on process OK came from. Came from somewhere though. Probably one of my later night sessions working on this stuff, and was like, oh, let's just call this on process OK. What's the worst thing that could happen? Though I'm actually kind of surprised that it was working at all that way. So the functionality built in to actually get the selected values and things actually works when this even is broken. So that's kind of an interesting little side note. So that's that. We want to go to... so I think they're all going to be on process OK. Nope, that one's process OK, never mind. That one's correct. The other one wasn't. Maybe the rest of these will be correct too. Oh yeah, because the other ones are correct too. Well, they have to be because they're working. So they have to be on just a regular process OK. So it's just the one. Nice. That is good to know. So, we're going to go ahead and test all the cancels now and make sure they're all working. Let's grab this. Let's go ahead and equip it so I can do some experience on it. Yeah, yes, whatever. Now let's go ahead and unequip. And we'll go test the cancels. Okay. Disable them all. Okay, that works. Okay. It's probably not necessary to test them all the time, so. Now we just need to do the refine. No. So refine, we got a reference error. Window selectable is not defined. Oh, select catable. Yes, the select catable window. The window with a sellable cat in it, I guess. I have no freaking clue. Typos are always fun. Let's see, where are you? You're on the process, okay. On the refine window. Selectable. There it is. Selectable. Selectable. Alright, so that'll work too now. I won't test that. Now, let's go ahead and click on the cancel, or the clear and the other thing. And so we can get an idea of where those lines are breaking at, so we can figure out where we need to go to either alias or override the functions for those to work properly. Actually, not there. So quit. Clear. So let's take a look at the console. Oh, it's already been over here, okay. Oh, really? So, that's interesting. Let's put a breakpoint here. Restart. And let's see where the call stack shows. So you can figure out where it's coming from and why we're getting stuff passed through that's nuts. Okay, clear equipments. So, let's see, max slots, we get the slots length. For eyes, less than max slots, increase eye. If this equip change okay, then we pass through eye, pass through eye null. So eye is just a value that's related to the, I guess the slot the thing is in, because that's how it was processed before. So, same thing here, we're going to need to modify these both. Alright, so that's the reason why we're passing through an int. Well, a regular var contains an int, which isn't a game instance weapon, so hence, kaboom. So this is underneath game actor, so yay, more game actor stuff. I have now overridden or aliased at least half of the game actor class for this damn plugin. I've never had to do so much aliasing or overriding before. And the possible conflicts list just got that much longer. Alright, so first things first, we definitely can't alias this, so we have to override it. So this stuff is fine. What we need to do is, and this is fine, I think. What does this do? I was just checking if the slot is locked or not, which is fine. I don't think we need to do anything with that in terms of modifying it for the weapon plugin. Though we might want to do testing on that later sometime. So then we go to change equip. So change equip, we're passing through an eye and a null. So instead of doing it this way, what we're going to do is we're going to pass through, since game actor, so we're just going to say this to underscore equips. Equips I1. So we're just going to pass through the slot, and that's going to be the weapon. And we'll do that on the bottom one, and that should potentially fix that first problem. And also maybe also the optimize equips too. So let's go have a look at what happens. Alright, so let's see if anything else shakes out, which it probably will. Okay. Now again, since weapon, which is good. Alright, so we heard that, and then we had a constructor issue somewhere else. Maybe the same thing. Yes. This time it came from command clear equipments. Alright, so update, press touch, call handler, equip command window, call handler, symbol, which is the change equips. Then that goes to clear command, which calls clear equipments. Then refresh all that. So clear equipments goes to here, which we've aliased. So change equipment this. So at some point when we come back to it a second time, we're getting through a null, which is interesting. So let's go ahead and put a break here, or rather, let's put it there first. So there might. Well, why would there be a null? Well, there could be a null on equips for some reason. Okay, so the other thing is that not every equip is a weapon, though. There are some equips that are just items. So let's say, let's modify this. If I1 equals 0, we'll do this. Else. So let me see, what's the original? Because this is kind of interesting. We're passing through an int on this. What was the original change equipment look like? So we do a trade party item on the slot ID with item, which is just a value. And it's an object item. So what we need to do is we need to get the item from game weapon, or game whatever. I guess it's game armor for the rest of them. The rest of them are armor, I think. I don't think it's like a game accessories. That's underneath managers. So data weapons are, yeah, armor and weapons is all. So armor, an accessory is considered an armor, so we need to get that out of there. So let's hit clear just real quick. I want to see what is in game armor. How is it not available? Armors. That's why. S on the end. No, what? Data armors. Crap. Game armors. Data armors. So I have an array of 5. So the type and then the IDs themselves. So what we need to do is we need to, and this is just an array of, what are these? These are game items? No, they're just objects. So what do we need to do? We need to pass it through as So change equips I null. So null is the new. Oh, okay, we're passing through a null. That's why. So what if I put item? So we'll handle it as a null there. Or maybe not there. Definitely, well, not there yet. On the change equip. Where's that? Change equip. Oh, I went a few too high. There we go. Equips. Prime plus cancel gain change. Equip. This may cause other issues, so we'll see what happens if we do that. So this should handle that, but I want to see if there's other problem, if there's any other issues as well with it doing that. So not seeing any problems that look like they would be problems. I think that's fine. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit clear. So now we got an I1 is not defined in here. So if, because it's not I1, it's just I. Of course, they don't follow zero indexing. Why should they follow iterative var name conventions as well? Okay. Interestingly, I changed it to the correct thing down here, but not up here. Okay. We'll figure out what to do with the rest of that later. The goal right now is trying to get through the first part of this without it erroring out. Cannot read set object of an undefined, which is probably still up in that. So when we pass through a null in the original code, if item is null or set object item. So how does that work? If item's null, or this, along with that, then equip the slot ID item, set that to null. So it throws an error over here because of the error was set object of undefined. So it's saying that this dot equips is undefined. So this dot equips I and then null. Okay. That's on change equips. So how are we passing this through that it's not, because it's the issue is a slot ID, so whatever that value is, and it might be because we're passing through a instance of a weapon instead of a slot number or something. Let's have a look-see on. Actually didn't need to grab that stuff, but okay, that's a game instance weapon instead of an ID. And this is a null, which it should be. But the slot ID should just be the slot ID, so I think what we want is not this, but then that underscore slot ID. Which should give us the slot that that's equipped in, which is 0. We could just pass through 0, obviously, but then we'd have to handle also 1. So it's easier just to do it this way first. Okay. Same area or somewhere new? Same place. Because the old item is a game instance weapon. So we're trying to call the set object on the game item because that's what would normally be there. It's not there on game instance weapon, so we'll have to do a handle on if the slot is 0 or 1. Blah. Because we're not passing through the weapon, so we can't check to see if the constructor is that, but we still have to handle it, which means it's going to get messy. But there's nothing we can do about that without rewriting some of this code, which I don't want to do. So if slot ID equals 0, or now, so here's the problem though with this, because if we handle the slot ID this way for 1, we're going to catch the armor as well, the shield, every time, because the shield is not always going to be a weapon. It'll usually be a shield, unless the dual wield trait is set. So we'll have to handle that differently. So we'll leave it as 1 for now. So if it's 0, we'll do something different, and then this will be the else. Okay, so there's that. Now the other problem is we still haven't handled the slot zeros on the actual clear and optimization functions, so it'll clear only if it works, it'll only clear the weapon out right now. Which it didn't, because now we're getting a null. Same place? No, different. Okay, equips, because we're calling what's that one we're calling the thing below? Release unequipped weapons and refresh. Since it's null, we're not getting a constructor. So if item constructor, so I think. So here, let's see now. I think if we just put in a null check on this, that should fix it. What line is that? Well, hopefully it'll fix it, because we don't want to return a null. I don't think. You do anyway. So that's on equips 202. We'll see if this breaks anything, but I don't think we want to return a null. Okay, equip. Damn. So now where's that at? 227. So that's down here in the release equips. Because again, it's trying to find a null, so let's do a null check there as well. If item, then do it, otherwise we don't really care. And again, this might break something, it may not. We'll have to find out with some testing whether it's breaking anything or not. I don't think it should, because we shouldn't be doing any processing on nulls. Then again, okay. So when we do that, though, it's not adding the weapon back out here. Oh, wait. No, yeah, it is. Never mind. I take that back. Yeah, it is. Never mind. Good. Cool, so that's working. Now what if we hit optimize? Yeah, and optimize now, we're going to have a whole different, I think, string of issues to handle. So this is probably happening somewhere else. No, it's unclear equipments again. So, okay, so now we're handling, so, right. We now have a null on an equipment slot. On 0 in this case. So we need to handle if 0 is null as well. Yeah, once you start having to handle nulls, things go to hell really fast. Really, really fast. Especially if the code doesn't already do that by default, even though it should. Of course, like I said, we've basically turned how the weapons work in this game upside down, so it's going to break things, obviously, without modifying things heavily, as this is a testament to. So we want the stuff down here. So on both of these, actually, we have to... So that's interesting. We're calling... Oh, it calls clear equipments first. Okay. So, so let's do it this way. Rather, let's actually pull the actual item. So now in this else, actually, let's go ahead and throw that into now. Change equip. We want the clear equips. Let's change equip by on the else. So what about optimize though? Alright, so there's that. Now let's go check this out, because here we're passing through I again instead of what we need to. So, I is the slot ID. Yeah, we're going to need to take a look at this too. I don't think we have yet. Let me just check. Nope, we haven't yet. It's referenced though from in here, obviously, from there. Alright, so here's this. So, we're passing through the slot ID to this function. So pass the slot ID through again. So we'll get that equipment. Now this one is, so now let's say var item equals actor, this underscore equips. So do our patented item check first. So if this is null, what do we want to return? I guess we can just return a null. That's fine to return, I guess. Because we can handle it over in the other thing. We just won't put anything in for that particular slot. So, okay, so if item is true, or if item is not null, we want to get the E-type ID, which now we do our check for the constructor. If item.constructor does not equal game instance weapon, continue with that. All that nonsense. Else. So now if it is this, let's just copy this down here because we can use this. Let's modify what's there. So E-type ID we can get by just using item dot underscore E-type. So items, game party filter items. So item underscore So now best item, best performance minus var for items.length. Performance, calculate performance items I1. Calculate equip item performance? Yeah. So that calls item.params.reduce. I was wondering if we'd have to do this one too. Whoops. And looks like we do. So you go through that, process all that, and then base item equals items I1. Then we return base item. Interesting. So, base item equals items I1. So if the performance is higher than the best performance, then set best performance to performance, and then set best item to items. And then by the time we get to the end of this loop, we'll have the best item. Okay, so if item is not null, but what if it is null? We still want to handle this. So how can we do that? I mean, all it's doing is really calling game party equip items, getting that as an item. So maybe if it is null, but the problem is we're looking for E-type ID. If it's a null, then we have this issue here where we're just, because we're trying to return items that are the same type, equip type, as what we're trying to get. Trying to replace. So the question is, well, we could look to see what the slot ID is, and then say if it's a slot ID, then it's this or this or this or this. I think that if you look at data, well, we're not broken anywhere here. But I think that data armors. So let's look over here. So we only have really, I think, so we go to types and go to equip types. Okay, we do have. So we have a shield, head, body, and accessory. So there is multiple equipment types. So we would take the slot ID plus 1. So if we pass through a 0, it would be slot 1. That'd be a 1. If it was passed well, actually, yeah, how is this, there's an equipment, there's some sort of types, data types or something in here, I think. Probably. Data, troops, states, data, map, actors, so items, weapons, armors. Interesting. So we try to do a clear on a null. It's still throwing this null error down. Oh, and clear equipments. Oh, I haven't updated that yet. Right. Let's put a breakpoint there so we can just break it. I'm going to see what's in data armors. I'm going to see what the types are in there. Okay, so A-type ID, not E-type. Oh no, there is an E-type, never mind. So yeah, E-type. So for the shield, it's 2. For headgear, it's 3. Body, 4, and accessory, 5. So yeah, exactly what it is here. So it is 1, 2, 5. So if we pass through if we use the slot ID plus 1, we can get our E-type from that. So we could still do this. So instead of saying item eType ID, so actually we'll need an else on this one because we're not handling just the game weapons here on this one. So if item eType ID equals slot ID +1, else return item eType ID slot ID 1. So that should be able to handle the nulls. So we should be able to do null fields to get the best weapon, even if it's a null now, hopefully. So let's go ahead and save this and then run this. And see what happens. I want to see first, we'll check to see if the null checks helped with the clear first. Yeah, okay. Cool, optimize works, but it didn't work on the weapon. So, there's an interesting thing there. So let's see, why did the weapon not work? $459. Everything else worked just fine. Everything was cleared properly. Everything else got put on properly, but the weapon, and I think that might be because the reduce function isn't working for this. But let's find out. 459 was it? Well, that was interesting. It didn't actually come down into here. Let's check this. Okay, there we go. So the item is a type ID. So that's interesting. If it's a null? Oh no, we're going on this item, so never mind. Okay, that's fine. Game party, so what about equip items? Maybe that's not pulling in the weapons? So it's pulling in weapons. No, it is pulling in weapons. Well, it's pulling in this dot. What's this function actually do? So equips, this dot equips dot filter. And equips is calling this function, calling it an item. If item.constructor is game instance weapon. So let's see if it's actually returning anything on that. So I gotta figure out where we actually went through to get back to there. So all right, this one, equip items. So equip items goes to weapons, which goes to equips filter, return item, and then data manager's armor. So item and then data manager dot is weapon item. So actor.prototype equips. So we're getting a data class of nothing and an item ID of 0. Start pulling through armor a bunch. Okay. So slot ID equals 1. Oh, because we have a null check, right? True. So on this one, if we want to process the null slot, it works on clear because we're just clearing. On this one, we're actually equipping something back into it, so we need to handle it a little bit differently. So instead of doing the null checkout here, what we need to do is say if item is 0, if item else it doesn't really matter for the null on that one because we're not passing through anything specifically about item on that. Just 2 values. Alright, we got a let's put the token on 390. Oh. Well, I might be working on releasing this tomorrow morning instead of tonight. It's getting a little bit late. It takes me probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. Maybe, well, this might take closer to 3 or 3.5 to actually put everything together. There's a lot of frigging writing to do. Alright. No, slot ID of null. Oh, right. Best equip item, item slot ID. So, what are we passing through with that? Oh, just the slot ID. Okay, so we just need to pass through, or not that one, the one below it. We just need to pass through I again. Same as what we do down here. Okay. Equip, herald, clear, optimize. No, the weapon still didn't get pulled. Why are you not pulling weapon? Slot ID 0. It's fine. Let's go and take a look at what we're doing down here now. Items is obviously going to be null. Okay, because the constructor isn't going to be this. So instead of doing that, we need to see if the... This is another one of the instances where we have to check the slot, if the slot ID is 0 or not. It's a really crappy way of dealing with it, but it's the only way to deal with it right now. Well, no, because... Never mind. Items. So item on items. Filter. So in this case, item is like what? Oh no, that's right. Never mind. Okay, so we're looking for the E-type ID. So this is a game instance. If constructor equals. So slot ID is 0 plus 1, and the E type ID for this item is... oh no, it's I type, not E type. Right. I think that might be why. That might be why it's not pulling any value for the weapon, because the wasn't matching it on that condition. So the filter was bypassing it. It wasn't throwing an error because it's in a filter for some reason. That should have thrown an error though. There we go. Now if I'm right in my assumption... Yes, awesome. Cool. It works. Perfect. Alright, now I want to check to make sure that we're not pulling things onto here that we can't actually use. Good. Just to be absolutely sure, though. Perfect. Cool, that's working now. Finally working. Okay. So now... I mean, I think we've done enough testing to say that the null checking isn't doing anything weird to this. It's working the way it should. Though, let's go ahead and really quick try and do a save. We'll equip this. Well, okay, I take that back. So we got a subject undefined null. So we're trying to optimize on Harold with him having stuff on him. So if null or if... So if item is null or... And cannot set property set object of undefined. Okay. I take that back. The null seems to be doing something funky there. Alright. Let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so equip. Optimize. So item is null. That's fine. Slot ID is 1. So I know this bit's working, so we can just get rid of this. Oh wow, slot ID becomes -1. That's what happens. So when does that become -1? see if we're doing that anywhere in our code. Ah, here we go. When we're creating a new instance weapon and we're pushing it, we're setting it to -1. I don't think that matters. Oops. Anymore, because I don't think that was the issue we were having. Okay. So it's on a game. So whenever we create a new game party item, we're setting the slot to -1 and not changing it. I think that was part of a fix that we did to try and change the ID from being 0 all the time on loading or something. For game weapons, and because maybe that was, I thought at some point that was an issue for it matching things together still. Matching, connecting all the instances together still, but that wasn't. Let's go ahead and equip this. Yeah, okay, it seems to be working now. Yeah, okay, that looks good now. Alright, so let's go ahead and save this. And let's go ahead and load this back again. Again, just in the name of being thorough. Oops. Damn, now we got this again. Alright, so on load, is it the same place? It is. I'm betting this is -1 again. Alright, we'll have to do the breakpoint again there. Oh, it's undefined. So item is null, undefined. Interesting, where did that come from? So clear equipments. 5. This equips on item. On this iteration, I1's obviously 0, so that still comes out to being a game. Still comes out to being this. What is the slot ID? Ah, game instance weapons don't have a slot ID set to them by default. I don't see it. I also don't see an actor ID, which is fine. But there is no